prepped, was in good shape. Nobody's yelling at me. I'll be in great shape today. So today on The Taste, we're covering two different topics. And if you're following on social media, I've gotten a lot of great feedback, and I'm happy that we're able to do this. So I've got three dynamic chefs that are all here from East Greenwich. And East Greenwich is often thought about as this, touristy destination, a lot like Newport. But we're here today to kind of dispel that myth that it's a year-round destination, and they've got restaurants that are vibrant and happening and really, really enjoyable menus that are there. So the three chefs that I have today coming in is my friend John Granata, who has been out in East Greenwich for a little while now, from Johnny Granata's Restaurant and Bar. I also have Chef Jeff coming in from Finn's Harborside and Chef Joe from Basil's. So those three chefs are going to be joining me over the next 45 minutes as we talk about their restaurants and the dining options in East Greenwich. At the end of this, we'll probably take a very quick pause, and then I'm going to be having a Skype interview coming in with Christian Palmez. Now, Christian is the president of Palmez Vineyards out in Napa Valley. And for anybody that hasn't gotten the hint yet, I'm pretty much a big wine enthusiast. So what happened in Napa was very concerning to me, and I travel to Napa usually once or twice a year. I'm due again to actually go out at the beginning of January after the New Year. And the fires were pretty devastating, not just to the businesses, but also to the residents. And to think of the damage that it could cause to a winery or the crops that are out there is pretty impactful from a business and personal standpoint. So I'm going to talk to Christian and kind of get his feelings on what they went through, what his neighbors are going through, and what the recovery effort's going to kind of be out there in Napa. So I'm excited to be able to have a Skype call with him at the end of the segment today. So to get moving, the aromas in the studio right now are absolutely amazing. People are taking pictures, kind of salivating and drooling out there. So I'd like to get started, and we'll bring in John Granata to come right in and get started. Chef, you ready?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my, look at this. Whoa. Yeah, okay. This is not going to be going far after this. Thank you, Christina. Chef, good to see you.
Great to see you.
Thanks for coming. Really appreciate it.
Yeah,
So the chef and I have had a long-standing time of knowing each other because he was a fixture on Federal Hill for quite some time up at Camille's. And now he's ventured out on his own, and he's done a fantastic job. So first of all, before we even get into the details, let's talk about your menu and what you brought here today, because this is like beyond mouth-watering. So what do we got here today?
Yeah, so basically what I'm doing now is I'm doing more rustic, grandma-style Italian food, things that make you comfortable. The atmosphere of the restaurant kind of dictate that. What we're trying to do is we're trying to get people to go back to your basics, and you know when you were a kid,
Yeah.
Things that you really craved. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And
this looks like what I'd give with my grandmother right now.
That's why I wanted to bring
that
I
feeling.
don't want to bring anything crazy for you. This travels well. These are the type of things, because we do a lot of takeout too, and these things travel well. But this is a signature dish that I used to do at Camille's, and now it's shrimp granata, which is a sambuca flambe over wilted spinach with candied pignoli nuts.
Yeah.
And it's wrapped in prosciutto, so it's seared off, and it's just a house favorite.
Yeah.
And the veal parmesan is no-fat veal.
Well, the cut of veal right there.
Yeah, I mean, you're Italian.
I know. the pasta, my God, I'm going crazy with this. This could be my dinner tonight, no kidding. I'm out tonight
Oh,
till
you're
10
welcome,
o'clock at
man.
night at events. I might be eating this when I get out here.
Yeah.
So, Chef, you were kind of celebrating an anniversary being out there right now, right?
Yeah, we're going on our second year, which is,
It's a milestone.
it is a milestone in this
Seriously,
day
it
and
is a
age.
milestone.
I mean, sometimes you don't know where the next day is going to come from, but we are glad that we learned as we went along,
Right.
and we're able to go forward, and things are getting better and better, and the word's getting out.
And I think, to your credit, I mean, it's always tough to go from being a chef and working for someone else and then going into being an entrepreneur and still being the chef and running the entire operation.
Right.
So, I mean, to the chef's credit is that it is a challenge to go into these restaurants. And we've talked before about legacy restaurants that have come out, and I consider a legacy restaurant anybody that's made it past 7 years. So you have, though, 20 plus years under your belt, though, of experience, right?
I mean, almost 30.
Almost 30 years.
Yeah.
30 years of
Yeah.
experience. So taking that 30 years of what he's learned in the kitchen and how to control the kitchen and the atmosphere, that's going to help you in the long term, what you've been through and done.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, the thing is that you have to take a shot in life, and I think the passion that you have, and the most important thing to me was to get the acceptance of my family. And my family is involved every day. My wife is there every day with me, and she runs the front of the house. And my son's with me in the back of the house. And
That's
my
awesome.
daughter, although she has a full-time job, she's there on the weekends with us. So
That's a family affair right there.
So it wouldn't work if my family wasn't involved,
So, in a Rhode Island sense, where's the restaurant? Used to be, the big Rhode Island
So
sense.
it used to be the Post Office Cafe. When I bought the restaurant, it was a rock bar for a little while. and it was vacant. And I resurrected it as the Post Office Cafe. So for the first year, we went with Post Office Cafe, and it didn't feel right. It didn't feel like it was ours, because my family started getting involved more and more, and I think we needed to rebrand the restaurant under my name and the Granata name, and because the Granatas are involved.
Right,
you
so
know?
it didn't have your personal stamp.
And I also think that a lot of people didn't know that I was there.
That's a good point.
So I think now there's no excuses for me personally, to people know that I'm there.
Right.
And if you don't know me, now you will.
So one of the things in talking about going back to the comfort food and the style here is that you still give a very extensive menu, considering that the style you're going back to.
We also do a prefix menu every night.
Really?
Yeah, we do a 3-course prefix menu that started with Restaurant Week and never stopped. So
that's my kind of restaurant week. It just keeps continuing on.
Yeah, appetizer, entree, and dessert for $29. So.
And I know you're a fan of wines like me. So what'd you bring today?
So I brought you a Sicilian wine today because this is a nice inky kind of wine that goes well with red sauce and stands up to the Sambuca. And this is a Villa Pozzi. It is a Nero Diavolo, which is
everybody knows that's I'm a fan of.
It's a great grape from Sicily. It's like the Barolo is to the upper region of Italy. So it should drink well, and it's got a nice color.
It's got a beautiful color too.
Good
Rich.
legs.
This is going to go good with this afterwards. So I'll take a picture of that. Cheers,
Sure.
chef. Thank you for joining.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
As I like to say, nothing wrong with that. That's delicious.
Nice?
Beautiful. So, chef, give us a visual, if you will, of what's changed and what's been different since it was Post Office Cafe, and how you've kind of continued to put that stamp of your own on there.
Okay, so in the summertime and in the warmer months, we have the outside patio, which is full of tables, has its own bar on the left side, or right side, depending on which you're coming out or in. So we have a lounge on one side with the bar. We have plenty of tables on the left, and people love to be out there. I mean, on the inside, you'll walk into a foyer with 20-foot ceilings. Very grand because it was an old post office. And when you come into the dining room, you continue with the 20-foot ceilings, and you get a warm, comfortable atmosphere dictated by a bar that you'll see first.
It's a good-sized bar.
It's a big bar, yeah. It's very comfortable, a lot of seats that people love to be at. And then we have the back dining room areas. We have 2 side rooms. We have one side room for smaller parties, and we have another side room that we just renovated into an art gallery. So it's called the gallery room.
Right, that's what I wanted to talk about that for
yeah,
sure.
Yeah, so local artists putting their paintings up in there. It's got the proper lighting and the proper coloring for the art, and it seems to be a big hit too.
No, people love combining art with food, because food is an art in
Sure is,
itself.
yeah.
So do you have, how often are you rotating those artists in and out of that room?
Well, we just started it. We have the first row of artists going in, and now we're getting the word out, and people have interest. So we're not quite sure how long we're going to rotate it for, but you're able to buy them if you like. We put you in touch with the artists, and we don't make any money on it. We just
that's fantastic.
It's all
so
for the artists.
You're supporting the arts community, and at the same
Absolutely.
time people are getting a great visual when they're coming into the restaurant.
Sure.
So you mentioned that that's one of the rooms that you just renovated. So you have 2 different rooms that can be used for special events?
We also have, when you walk in the front door on the left side, we have the larger room on the left-hand side that can accommodate up to 30 people in a party. And it's open space with high ceilings again. And it's a big Christmas party and holiday party room.
So one of the questions that I had that was on social media was just talking about that, is that you're now taking bookings for holiday parties.
We absolutely are, sure. Right.
And then will you be open for New Year's Eve?
We are, yeah.
It seems strange that I'm asking about New Year's Eve. It's still October.
I know.
Time has been flying like crazy. It's unbelievable.
We'll also be open on Halloween too, so.
It's for all the adults that don't want to deal with the trick-or-treaters. You got a place to go to when he's granted.
People seem to abandon restaurants on Halloween, but we'll be there.
So, chef, now that you've had 2 years under your belt and being in this location, and you're in a central location. You're right there on the main street.
It can't be better than that area.
So, how have you felt, and this is one of the things that I've had out there on social media talking about the segment, was about the tourism perspective. There's a lot of locals that enjoy eating out, so it's not just this tourism destination.
Oh yeah, suburban restaurants were on a rise, and I think that the thing is you have to be a little more creative in how you approach it, because down in Providence, for years, first of all, I worked at a restaurant that had 100 years under its belt, so it's a little easier to attract people there. But the hotels are very important to the Providence area, and they, during the week that drives people to, constantly. Whereas in the suburbs, you don't really have that. So you have to be a little more creative in what you offer and how you approach people and how you make them feel. And we try to make people feel warm when they come in, or smile, and great value, and that's all you can really do.
But to go out there, I mean, if there's this perception that in the summer it's too hard to get in or it's too crowded. I've been out there in the fall, I've been out there in the winter, and they're just as busy and just as good, but you can get in a little bit quicker, or you can get to the bar a little faster. So
Yeah.
this is the time to go out and enjoy this. And you guys just came off doing your own restaurant week, so like a few weeks ago, right?
Right, yeah, and then we continue through, like I said, we continue that menu right through, and we'll probably continue it forever. So
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a great
Yeah.
value to be able to come in and do that.
Yeah.
Chef, how important is, talking about this fantastic wine that you brought in for me to join, which I already did a good number on here, how important is your wine program and your beverage program to your menu as a whole?
Oh, I think it's very important. It's also it's important because you need to match food with wine, and you need to give value for wine. So you don't want to be pretentious when you have a wine list. We try to keep it short and sweet and affordable. And you want to cover all the bases with the Cabernets and Merlots and for the big wines, but you also want to have some white wines that are refreshing and able to go with the lighter foods.
Absolutely.
So
Now,
it's extremely important.
Now, you mentioned that it's become this kind of this family affair that's out there. I know your wife is very knowledgeable in the restaurant business. She runs the front of the house. Are your children coming up in that same way where they're enjoying it and becoming more and more
My
knowledgeable?
son's come a long way. He started from not knowing the business at all 2 years ago to he's really come a long, long way. He's in the kitchen, and he's one I really rely on in that. So.
That's excellent. So one of the last questions, and today I'm going to be asking this a lot because it's excellent that I have 3 chefs, which is fantastic. So one of the things I kind of like to close out the segments with are, what are one of the dishes that it's your favorite in the kitchen? It could be because of its ingredients that you like, or the fresh ingredients. And then what's something on the menu that you would really encourage guests that they really need to try? That if they haven't had it before, it's something that you don't want to miss this on the menu.
Well, the thing is, it's kind of like asking me which one of my kids that I like the most. I mean, I don't really have.
I get asked that a lot.
And the thing is, with people that are autistic, I think it changes from day to day. But because your vision is different every day.
Right.
A lot of times when you create specials, that's kind of what you're motivated to. But I got to tell you, a simple thing like a meatball done perfectly piped with a little ricotta cheese on top, and the parmesans and the eggplants and things like that. The things and good fresh bread. Those are the things that motivate me and give me goosebumps to want to just keep going on and on and on doing this. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, some of those ingredients, are you sourcing some things locally for the
we try to source as much as we can, but this time of year it's a little tough because
it does get challenging.
Things start shutting down. And it was a tough year too in the farms, but yeah, as much as we can, we try to source locally. Absolutely.
Fantastic. So now back to the reference point before I let him go. It's the old post office cafe. It's right on the main road. You can't miss it.
Gateway to East Greenwich.
Gateway to East Greenwich. So if you haven't been out there, and it's only 2 years old, so you got a little bit of an excuse you haven't been out there, but the chef has been around a long time. He's got a lot of great experiences. Obviously, you can tell, and if you could smell, this should be in heaven right now. But it's a spot that you want to check out, and East Greenwich is worth visiting. You could literally, all 3 of my chefs here tonight, make weekend plans and go to each one of them for one night each. So, Chef, thank you so much for coming in today. I really appreciate
Thank
you.
you. It was great seeing you.
Great to see you as well. Thank you for the fantastic wine.
Oh, anytime.